Every morning, David woke up before sunrise. He worked longer than everyone else in the office. He skipped holidays. He answered emails late into the night. He did everything people said successful people should do. Yet every month, just days before payday, his bank account was almost empty. Then one day, David met someone who worked fewer hours, earned less money, but had already become financially free. That conversation shattered everything David believed about money. Because the reason you're still broke may have nothing to do with how hard you work. It could be one invisible mistake that millions of hardworking people make every single month without even noticing. Stay until the end, because the final lesson in this story could completely change the way you think about earning, saving, and building wealth. Before we begin, welcome to Finext Wealth, where we turn real-life stories into powerful money lessons. If you're serious about escaping the paycheck-to-paycheck cycle and building lasting wealth, hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications. Every week, we share practical financial stories that can change the way you think about money. Now, let's begin. David had always believed one thing. Hard work always pays off. His parents taught him that. His teachers repeated it. His managers rewarded it. So he worked harder than everyone around him. He arrived first. He left last. When his colleagues relaxed, David took on extra projects. When they went home, David stayed behind. Year after year, promotions came. His salary increased. His responsibilities grew. Everyone congratulated him. You've made it. You must be rich. David smiled every time he heard those words. But there was one problem. His life didn't feel rich. Every month looked the same. Salary came in. Bills went out. Rent, car payment, insurance, subscriptions, shopping, dining out, weekend trips, unexpected expenses. Then, silence. The account was almost empty again. David couldn't understand it. I earn more than I did 5 years ago. So why do I still feel broke? The harder he worked, the less free he felt. Instead of buying freedom, his higher income bought bigger obligations. One evening, after another exhausting day at work, David stopped at a small cafe. He noticed an older man reading quietly by the window. It was James, a retired engineer. They started talking. James asked a simple question. How many hours did you work today? David sighed. 12. James smiled. And how much money did your investments make today? David laughed. I don't have investments. James nodded. I thought so. David looked confused. What made you think that? James leaned forward. Because people who only work for money eventually run out of time. But people who make money work for them never stop earning. Those words stayed in David's mind all night. The next weekend, he visited James again, this time with questions. James pulled out 2 sheets of paper. On the first sheet, he wrote one word. Income. On the second sheet, another. Assets. You've spent your life increasing the first, James said. But you've ignored the second. David stayed at the papers. I don't understand. James smiled. Imagine your job disappears tomorrow. How much money will you receive next month? David answered quietly. None. James nodded. Now imagine you own businesses, investments, or assets that generated income whether you worked or not. Would losing your job matter as much? David didn't answer, because he finally understood. 4 years, he had confused a high income with wealth. But they weren't the same thing. Over the next few months, David changed his habits. Instead of celebrating every pay rise by spending more, he invested more. He stopped buying things to impress people. He started buying assets that could pay him back. He reduced unnecessary expenses, built an emergency fund, learned about long-term investing, ignored social pressure. It wasn't glamorous. Nobody congratulated him. Nobody noticed. But slowly, his money began doing something it had never done before. It started working. The first investment return was small. Then another. Then another. Months turned into years. His salary was still important. But now, it wasn't his only source of income. One day, something unexpected happened. His company announced major layoffs. Panic spread through the office. People feared losing everything. David felt nervous, but not terrified, because for the first time in his life, His future didn't depend on one employer. His investments continued producing returns. His emergency savings covered unexpected expenses. His financial life no longer stood on a single pillar. As David walked out of the office that afternoon, he realized something. The wealthiest people aren't always the ones who work the hardest. They are often the ones who build systems that continue working long after they've gone home. Hard work is valuable, but hard work without a plan can keep you running on a treadmill. You'll be exhausted. You'll sweat. You'll move constantly. Yet you'll never actually get anywhere. Real wealth begins when every pound you earn starts building something that earns for you tomorrow. That's why two people can earn the same salary. One retires with nothing. The other retires with financial freedom. The difference isn't intelligence. The difference isn't luck. The difference is what they do after they get paid. So if you've been working harder every year but still wondering where your money goes, maybe the answer isn't another overtime shift. Maybe it's changing the way your money works. Because the goal isn't to spend your entire life chasing paydays. The goal is to reach the point where your money quietly works while you sleep. That's what financial freedom really means. If this story changed the way you think about money, don't let it end here. Subscribe to Finext Wealth for more powerful finance stories that help you make smarter money decisions and build lasting wealth. And now we'd love to hear from you. What finance topic would you like us to cover in our next video? Leave your suggestion in the comments below. We read every comment, and your idea could become our next story. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, remember, don't just work hard. Make your money work hard for you.